Yes, was this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the combined session meeting and the annual reorganization meeting of the Amityville Board of Education. It is July 14th, 2026. The meeting is called to order at 5:34. My name is Anne-Marie Monahan. I am the district clerk. In attendance tonight are the following trustees. We have Megan Messman, Chris Nearing, and I welcome the newest trustees of the Board of Education, Angel Davenport, Cheryl Quintine Best, and Dr. Quasia Georgine. Who anticipate that Juan Leon and Michael McDonald, trustees, will be here shortly. Also in attendance are Dr. Gina Talbert, Superintendent of Schools, Mary Stevens, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Joseph Dragone, Interim Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Dr. Stephen Landa, Director of Human Resources. We also have John Sheehan, Attorney of Garcia and Garcia. Can I have a motion to enter? I'm sorry, Lisa Hutchinson, also of Garcia and Garcia. Can I have a motion to enter into executive session for the purpose of obtaining advice from legal counsel and for a particular person's employment history?
Motion.
Chris is first.
Second.
And Megan is second. And 5:35. All those in favor?
Aye.
So we have 5-0. Thank you for joining us. We anticipate the reorganization meeting will begin at 7:30, with the combined meeting being held after the reorganization. Thank you.
July 14th, 2026, at the Amityville Union Free School District. The combined session meeting will begin shortly after the reorganization meeting concludes. We will now resume at 8:05 p.m. Please note the emergency exits closest to you. Smoking is not allowed on school grounds, and please silence all cell phones during the board's business. Please join the Board of Education in the Pledge of Allegiance. We will now turn it over to council.
Good evening. My name is John Sheehan. Partner with the law firm of Garcia and Garcia LLP. The next order of business will be to administer the oath to newly elected members of the Board of Education and the signing of the oath of office book by those members. First is congratulations to Angel Davenport. Thank you. The next is a congratulations to Cheryl Quintine Best. Thank you. The next is a congratulation to Dr. Equasia Yard Jean. Thank you. The next is Catherine Martinez Lopez. Congratulations, Catherine. The next is a congratulations to Soraya Mullins. Thank you. The next order of business is the election of one member of the Board of Education to serve as board president for the 2026-2027 school year. I will now call for nominations for the office of the president of the Board of Education. Do I have any nominations?
I nominate Chris Naren.
Okay, I have a nomination for Chris Nearing. Do I have any other nominations? None. Hearing none, I will close the nominations. I will now have a roll call vote for the nomination for Chris Nearing to serve as president for the 2026-2027 school year. Angel Davenport? Juan Leon?
No.
Michael McDonald?
Yes.
Megan Messman?
No.
Christopher Nearing?
Yes.
Cheryl Quintine Best?
Yes.
Equasia Yard Jean?
Yes.
We have 5 in favor, 2 opposed, motion carries. Congratulations. Christopher Nearing, you are appointed as the president of the Board of Education of the Amityville Union Free School District. We'll now have you sworn in. I will now turn control of the meeting to newly elected president of the Board of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Sheehan. I will now call for nominations for the office of First Vice President for the Board of Education.
I nominate Angel Davenport.
Dr. Yardine nominates Angel Davenport. Do I have any other nominations?
Give me a second.
Do I have a second for the nomination?
I second.
That's a motion to close the nomination. So do I have a motion to close the nominations? Sorry.
I make the motion to close nominations.
Can I have a second? Angel Davenport, second. All in favor to close the nominations? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Roll call for the vote for the position of First Vice President of the Board of Education for Angel Davenport. First vote will be Angel Davenport. Second, Juan Leon. Michael McDonald.
Yes.
Megan Messman.
No.
Chris Nearing is a yes. Cheryl Quintine Best
Yes.
and Dr. Equasia Yargene.
Yes.
The vote passes 6-1. Congratulations, First Vice President Angel Davenport. All right, and I'd now like to open nominations for the office of second vice president for the Board of Education.
I nominate Cheryl Quinton Best.
Angel Davenport nominates Cheryl Quintine Best.
Second.
Second by Michael McDonald. Do I have any other nominations for second vice president? Seeing and hearing none, do I have a motion to close nominations for second vice president?
I motion.
Dr. Yardine. Do I have a second? Second by Angel Davenport. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And I'd like to do a roll call vote for the, for Cheryl Quintine Best for the office of second vice president. Angel Davenport? Juan Leon? Michael McDonald?
Yes.
Megan Messman?
No.
Chris Nearing is yes. Cheryl Quintine Best
Yes.
and Dr. Equasia Arjean.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-2. Congratulations, Cheryl, second vice president Cheryl Quintine Best. Okay, moving on to item 4A, A and B. Can I have a motion for item 4A, A and B? Can I have a motion for that?
First one.
Oh, sorry. Just for 4A.
I motion.
Dr. Yardine is first. Was that Ms. Davenport second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Ms. Monahan. Moving on to item 4B. Can I have a motion for item 4B, appointment of district clerk?
Motion.
Second.
Angel Davenport is first, Megan Messman is second. Any discussion on this item?
No.
Should have noted previously, it's the interim district clerk has been appointed through August 2nd, which is when the full-time district clerk will be taking the position on August 3rd.
Mhm.
Um, All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for item 4C, district clerk pro tem?
Motion.
Second.
Megan Messman is first. What's that? Angel Davenport, second? Um,
You have to read it.
There's no name. Okay, so do I have to amend the agenda to add it? Okay. I had already made the motion to add it, to put the vote on the table.
Motion. Got a motion and second already?
Yeah.
So you should, you can amend it now. You haven't had the vote yet, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you can make a motion to amend. But you
Can I
need a
have-
second.
A motion to amend the agenda for item 4C to read the appointment of district clerk pro tem. Be it resolved that Joseph Dragon be appointed district clerk pro tem.
First motion.
Second.
Dr. Yardine is first. Angel Davenport is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Now on the motion as amended.
I'd like to have a vote on the motion as amended. I'll read it again. Be it resolved that Joseph Dragon be appointed district clerk pro tem. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Wait on first. First and second. Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Juan Leon first, Megan Messman second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion to amend the agenda for item 4D? Changing the salary from, oh, sorry, I'm jumping the gun here. I know you wanted this position so much.
Well, Joe never left.
My apologies, Mr. Dragon. Now can I have a motion to amend the agenda for item 4D, changing the salary from $27,060.00 to $27,601.00.
Second.
Angel Davenport is first. Dr. Yardine is second. All those in favor for the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for agenda item 4D? Be it resolved that Michael T. Kearns be appointed as district treasurer at the annual salary of $27,601.00. and authorizes the board president to execute an agreement for such services.
Motion.
Second.
Cheryl Quinton Best is first.
That was me.
Oh, sorry. Megan Messman is first. And who was the second? Dr. Yardine is second. Any discussion on this item?
No.
Seeing and hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Mr. Kearns. Thank you. Moving on to item 4E, taking of the oath by the superintendent. Mr. Sheehan, can the other appointments, am I able to do them together?
Yes.
Is any board members opposed to items 5A through 5JJ together? Does there anyone need them done separately?
A and B separate.
So A and B separate and then the rest?
Yeah.
Do together? Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion for item 5A?
Can do it together.
Oh,
A
you
and B.
can do A and B together? All right. Can I have a motion for 5A and 5B? Angel Davenport is first.
Second.
Dr. Yardine is second. Any discussion on these items? Seeing and hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
Motion passes 6-1. Can I have a motion for items 5C through 5JJ?
Motion.
Second.
Sure. Quintine Best is first. And Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. For items 6A, B, C, do we need any of those done separately?
6A, please.
Okay, can I have a motion for item 6A?
Motion.
Megan Messman is first.
Second.
Angel Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
Yes, discussion. At last year's reorganization meeting, 6AD New York class, we had a discussion that it wasn't FDIC insured. And then we ended up leaving it off. Is there anything new that has changed this year?
I'll ask Mr. Dragon to offer up an explanation as to why it remains on the agenda for this year.
So New York class is a cooperative liquid asset security system. That's what it stands for. It is authorized by the Office of the State Controller under General Municipal Law to be a depository for school districts. It has a system of collateralization that is different than a traditional bank. It is a pool of securities as opposed to individual securities being pledged to each of the depositors. It is, as a result, providing us, would provide us with a higher rate of interest than some other institutions. In some cases, as much as 10 or 20 basis points higher. Given the fact that money is tight, it is my recommendation that we add that to the list of depositories that we use.
As a follow-up question, how common is the use of this New York class amongst other school districts on Long Island?
There are several hundred school districts throughout New York State, including villages, towns, and other municipalities, town governments, county governments, all of whom participate in New York class or its sister organization, New York Liquid Assets Fund, which have now merged to become New York class.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can you just speak to the comment about money is tight? Because we
Sure.
just ended with.
I would like, as your business official, to collect as little in taxes as we possibly can and to earn interest on the money that's available to us so that we do not need to rely on the tax base. New York class will give us that opportunity.
We removed it last year, right? The board decided to remove it last year.
From what I remember, we didn't have as in-depth of
We did not
explanation.
have this discussion, no.
I did do some research on New York class, and I noticed it is highly rated by AAAM, S&P Global. And I noticed that the last 7-day yield, July 12th, was 3.54%. And the prime 30-day yield was somewhere between 3.68 to 3.70. So they are in good standing. And I'm impressed with their yield.
I would just add one other thing. FDIC insurance is, of course, wonderful, but it's only the first $250,000 of deposits. Beyond that, we need to have either collateralized deposits or some other method by which the investments of the district are protected. New York class has billions with a B in assets that are all backed by securities that are owned by other institutions and pledged to the depositors. So I think this is more than a safe investment. I would not recommend it if I thought it was unsafe. And that's why it's back on the agenda for this year.
So if I understand correctly, there's no added risk to utilizing New York class. Is that correct?
No, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
I would just like to reiterate that last year, the explanation was offered up that the state controller even endorses New York Class Bank. It was originally recommended by our treasurer and then reinforced by last year's business official. So thank you, Board of Ed, for your consideration.
Do I have any other comments on this? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And I have a motion for items 6B through 6C.
Motion. Can we look at, 6BA separately?
So you want to look at 6BA separately?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a motion for item 6BA?
Motion.
Second.
Cheryl Quintine Best is first. Megan Messman is second. Discussion on this item?
Yeah, so these are the two newspapers that the school district use, correct? And the Amityville Herald is the one for Amityville specifically? Am I correct in saying that? Where's the Amityville Herald tonight? I don't see them here tonight, and I'm just wondering, and I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, Dr. Talbert, maybe you could inform the board of what the function of these two publications being the official newspapers is?
Sure. So the official newspapers are those newspapers in which we advertise our noticing to the public regarding elections, regarding legal notices, bids, and things of that nature. And so these are the two in the community in which we advertise for the school district. Any additional commentary? I know the business office usually takes the lead on those particular items.
Just that Amityville Herald and Massapequa Herald are weekly newspapers. And as a result, to advertise in those newspapers costs about $400 compared to the same legal notice being placed in Newsday, which could cost several $1,000s. So this is an attempt for us to be cautious, again, with the way we spend money. A number of school districts use local community weekly newspapers as their official newspaper. These two happen to be the two that publish and are sold within the Amityville School District.
Yes, my concern was not for the school district to use the newspaper. My concern was that I would have thought tonight would be a time that the Amityville Herald would have been represented. They're usually represented on other occasions. So that was just my query and my concern.
Dr. Talbot, if I
Can
may.
I?
Yes. So this is, these are two newspapers having general circulation that meet that definition under the general construction law, and they're used to publish bids under the General Municipal Law 103. So that's the purpose for their designation on the reorg agenda. It's primarily for bids and also the legal notice for the elections.
Thank you. Can I just ask, because the resolution actually lists everything together, right? Amityville Herald, Massapequa Herald, and an alternative from time to time Newsday. So can we take them separately, or should we take it as one? Because we don't have Newsday here listed.
Yeah, the reason why we recommend that you include Newsday on an as-needed basis is in case we needed to publish a notice tomorrow, we couldn't do it in either of these weeklies.
I understand, yeah.
So
I just think, like, just to clarify, the resolution has all three listed.
So you seeking to amend the agenda to include C, Newsday?
If that's the solution, yes. So, okay, yeah, okay. So we have a motion on the table already, I believe, for 6BA.
So you can move to amend the motion to include BC Newsday. And if the board is in favor of that, then you would vote on all three.
I'd have to make a motion to add C and then
And vote on
amend
all.
it to. Okay. And I have a motion to add to the agenda item 6BC Newsday as an official newspaper.
Motion.
Second.
Megan Messman is first. Dr. Yard Jean is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. And I have a motion to amend the,
To approve six.
Oh.
6B, A, B, and C.
I have a motion to approve items 6B, A, B, and C.
Motion.
I'm sorry, can we recommend that we do them separately?
Up to the board. Like,
I don't mind lumping in A and B together.
Is this gonna impact? Yeah, it's Newsday as needed. Is that gonna impact your vote if we do them all together?
All right, I mean, throw it, I mean, it's really a bigger discussion than this. Because the issue is how is each paper going to be used? And then the dollar amount to advertise that goes with that.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but the discussion point I'm trying to make is that the Amityville Herald and the Massapequa Herald covers the residents of the Amityville School District, and to me, that's sufficient. That's my point.
So I think the resolution does build in the
Mhm.
fact that Newsday would only be used as an option slash alternate from time to time. And it's my understanding it is used in those circumstances when Newsday, since it's a daily, is available for the bid. So if you have a bid spec, a bid going out and you don't have time to get it in the weekly, the Newsday is a default for the daily and you can get something advertised within a shorter period of time, although it's more expensive, correct?
Understood. I retract my my proposition to have them separated. They can be done together.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motions for,
I already gave you a motion.
you did? Okay.
Second.
Megan Messman is first. Do I have a second?
Second.
Juan Leon is second. Any further discussion on these items? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I have a motion for items 6C, A, and B.
Motion.
Megan Messman is first, Angel Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I do 7A through J together? Does anyone need them done separately? We can discuss them, just if this impacts your vote.
A through H, please. For me.
Okay, could I have a motion for items 7A through 7H?
Motion.
Second.
Megan Messman is first, Dr. Yard Jean is second. Discussion?
No.
Seeing, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for items 7I, A through D?
Um, I think separately.
What,
Well, there's a few, there's,
the
so,
individual policies, you mean?
so the policies, the purchasing and the investment are not the backup is not the most recent version. So I don't, because we had updated these this year, 6,700
But I believe what was posted online is the current ones. That was verified?
in board docs, the most current
The clerk has confirmed that policies listed are all posted, updated on board docs.
on board docs. But you're saying as meeting attachments or in the policy folder on board docs? So, okay, so it's not
But not as the meeting
attachment,
attachment?
okay. So,
So, Mr. Sheehan, how should we continue since what is posted is not the current policies?
So this is typically a standard resolution that adopts the policies as they exist. So there's been no changes to the policies as they exist. But if you had changes to the policies, then you'd have to put them in the meeting minutes and put them in, attach them to this meeting in board docs. But this resolution only carries over the policies that you had last year. Right?
Okay, so-
Only reason you'd need to tie it to this meeting is if there were changes. And my understanding is that there are no changes.
There are changes on the code of conduct. The board has received the updated changes to the code of conduct. I'm going to ask Mary Stevens just to explain the portion of the code of conduct that has been revised.
Is that code of conduct that's revised for this meeting for the first time?
So just we updated the list of administrators, the list of DASA coordinators. And then in the interventions, the part upon the recommendation of the Wellness Committee was about excluding students from extracurricular and recess. So the new piece reads, in school disciplinary action, exclusion from extracurricular activities or recess may only be imposed if the offense occurred during the extracurricular activity or recess and presented a danger to the student or others.
I'm sorry, what page were you on?
It's on multiple pages.
Oh.
I'm on 27 looking at it, but it's in the third column of the interventions.
Okay, yes, okay.
So given that there is a change for the first time at this meeting, it'd be my recommendation that you adopt that policy in August and have it posted with the meeting. Right, if you're going to have a policy and it's going to be discussed at the board table, it should be posted and tied to that meeting in board docs.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
So
this code of conduct will not be voting on, we'll just vote on the existing.
So you'll be voting on the existing, you're reaffirming the existing code of conduct, and then in the August meeting, you can take up the changes to that prior year's code of conduct.
Okay,
Right, so the code of conduct that is referenced in this resolution is last year's code of conduct.
okay, because we have to readopt the code of conduct
Correct.
at the reorg meeting.
Correct.
Okay. So if we're going to consider changes to the code of conduct in August, I had jotted down some notes, if it's okay,
but since we're not voting on that, probably shouldn't be discussing the new code of conduct at this point. Is that correct?
It's just
And
a couple
I-
of thoughts for consideration for August and.
Well, it's on
Okay,
it's on the question, so
okay.
it's a fair debate.
Okay, it's not really a
Sure.
debate. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a debate, but I was just, so on page 8, when you have the DASA coordinators, I was just to make it really easy for parents and students, like, would it make sense? 2 notes I had to have direct numbers listed, and also to link directly to on the website where the complaint form is. Just have that right embedded into the document, something to consider. And then I was wondering on page 15, because last July we were figuring out how to implement the cell phone policy. Did we get much feedback on the specific cell emails? Was that like really used? And or does that page maybe need some tweaking? I just didn't know if parents were really using those cell phone. Or if they were going directly to, Amityville High School cell dot Amityville UFSC, or if they were going directly to an administrator with questions. So maybe,
What page is that on?
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
15. We had created like specific email for each building, and whether or not that was actually being utilized this year was just a query. And then lastly, if there was anything more in here or in the district's internet use policy and associated regulation to address inappropriate AI usage, and to make sure that we get ahead of that before the start of the school year. So I wasn't sure if it would be directly in here or if it would be, because I looked at the district's internet use policy and it had a 2013 date on it. So I was wondering if there was anything in there that we could make more robust going into the new school year. Thank you. Those are just some thoughts. But tonight we're just looking at last year's.
Sure, thank you for your feedback. There is a proposed policy meeting on September 28th as well. And as a reminder, the district did adopt an AI policy and an AI regulation, which we will be enforcing this school year as well. So in this present code of conduct, although it may not be spelled out as AI, when it comes to harassment or inappropriate behavior, then there are interventions based on levels to address such acts. And thank you for your feedback. We'll continue to.
Yeah, thank you.
Focus in on
I know with the AI, I thought, if I'm remembering off the top of my head more correctly, is that it was more focused on, teachers and what platforms they're applying to use. So if, I'm more thinking inappropriate conduct, usage, and if there was anything more that we could incorporate into our policies and code of conduct. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, so as a reminder, we are voting on these policies that are currently in place and not the ones that are physically in front of you. Can I have a motion for items 7I, A through D?
Motion.
Megan Messman is first, Angel Davenport is second. Discussion was already had. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for items 7J, A through D?
First motion. Second.
Dr. Yardine is first, Angel Davenport is second. Oh, I hear both of them. I heard Angel first.
Okay.
Any discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for items 8A through 8G?
Motion.
Cheryl Quintine Best is first.
Second.
Dr. Yard Jean is second. Any discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for items 9A through 9C?
Motion.
Second.
Megan Messman is first. Was that Ms. Davenport? Second? Any discussion on these items? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for item 10A?
Motion.
Second.
Cheryl Quintine Best is first. Dr. Yard Jean is second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, now. Can I have a motion for item 11A, appointment of board members to the policy committee?
Should we fill in the blanks first or?
Or the motion to amend these, or do we put it on the table for the discussion?
Typically, there's, before you call the motion, you fill in the blanks.
Okay.
So you poll the board and discuss it, and then you put the names in, and then you move it.
Okay, so we need to select 2 board members for the policy committee. I believe we take this on a volunteer basis first. So I would like to now volunteer myself for the policy committee.
I'll have to volunteer myself.
Put it into the mic.
I would like to volunteer myself.
And I would like to be considered as well. And I'd say last year we had, and did have 3 board representatives on the policy committee.
Okay. Do I have some guidance on how to approach this with 3 members interested in 2 positions that are on the agenda?
So, I believe the 2 members were placed in the agenda because this is purely advisory. And to have 2 members and the superintendent of schools is actually, I think, the way it used to be. But it is up to the Board of Education, a quorum, as long as you have less than a quorum of 4, it is still advisory. So it is up to the Board of Education whether they want to add a 3rd member. Just be aware that if you have 4 members, then you have a quorum. And
It's
if
3.
you have a quorum,
So 3 members is what's up
right,
for
it's
discussion.
3.
So-
3, you're okay. 4, no good.
Is there any difference between having 2 members as opposed to having 3
No.
members? So
No.
there's no different requirements
No
for one
different
compared to
requirements.
the other.
It's still advisory. It's still not subject to the open meetings law.
So I have a question. Is it that when there are 3 members, it's like a public? It's open to the public? No?
No, it's only if there's 4. If there's 4 members, then you have a quorum. And if they act as 4 members, they can act as the board. So 3 is the max you can have. And so you can add a 3rd to this resolution without having this as a public meeting.
So do we have a third with a vote?
So my recommendation would be to amend this from 2 to 3 by board resolution. Because it is a change to the agenda. It's not merely just filling in the names. It is changing the agenda and it's changing the resolution. So my recommendation would be to amend 11A to make it 3 members.
Can
Do
I ask
you
a
want-
clarification question?
Sure.
So, last year, I thought that because it was 3 members, it was open to the community. Is that incorrect?
So we have specified clearly in the resolution that it's making suggestions for revisions. Right, so if you look at the resolution, it's clearly making suggestions. It's not taking action on behalf of the Board of Education. So your policy on making policies refers to the committee, but it doesn't specify whether it is an action item or it is advisory. We made this clear that it's only making suggestions. So it's clear that it's purely advisory. And if it's
Okay.
purely advisory, then it's not taking action on behalf of the Board of Education.
And that's the
Okay.
difference from last
Yes.
So but we also held the policy meetings in public, so there would be no change there.
You held
We-
the meetings in public, but you didn't have any specific quorum
No.
requirements.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, do you want to just try to fill in the blanks and then we can decide, Chris? Like, should we fill in like what others are interested in as far as the committee? I mean, the policy committee is the only committee at the time that is after 9 to 5 too. So the dates and times suggested for the other committees are very challenging to be able to participate on. I participated on the Health and Safety Committee in my first year. It was a great experience, met quarterly. Last year I participated on the Policy Committee. And on the Wellness Committee, I don't know, meets twice a year, maybe, if that. But the suggested times are like 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock, I think.
Can I-
Because-
If there's no objection, can I ask legal a question? Sure. So my question is this, where is it memorialized where it says 2 versus 3? Or can the board just do 3
Yeah.
because it's less than a quorum without making it a big deal?
So it's not memorialized. Your policy on policy formulation refers to a policy committee, but it doesn't provide number of board members on that committee, and it doesn't provide a specific role other than working with the superintendent to make suggestions.
That's understood. So now my question is that I don't see a reason to have to edit the agenda, just the point.
Well, it's the resolution.
Oh. Understood.
Right, yeah. So typically with appointments, you just fill in the names and you move on, but you're making a change to this resolution that's been appointed, that's on the agenda. So that's why you'd make a change to this resolution to make it go from 2 to 3. That's my recommendation.
So I have a question then. So if we can make it
All right,
to,
I know.
3 for the policy committee, then can we do likewise for safety, wellness and audit? Can we just increase numbers? I'm not clear as to
Mhm.
why we are looking to increase 1 and not all. And my understanding, I still am not clear, is that when there are 3 members on the policy committee, the public, even though they cannot make an input, the public can listen in. And my concern is that we want to discuss matters frankly and transparently, but we do not want the public to get a conclusion when we are crashing it out that we are skewed one way or another. So I'm thinking that if it's going to be open up to the public, that then we have to be very guarded and taper our concerns on the policy committee. So again, I'm saying, if you're looking at having 3 members on the policy committee, then should we have 3 members on all the committees?
So the policy committee was held in public, regardless of if it was 2 or 3 board members.
Is that correct?
I have no objection to 3 board members serving on any of these, as long as there's board members willing to serve. You may not get that for every committee, but for me, as long as it's less than a quorum, then that's fine with me.
Should we vote on it? Whether there should be 2 or 3 for the policy committee? Should there be a vote?
We need a motion to amend the agenda. If that's what the board desires.
May I ask a clarifying question? Last year, the policy committee meetings were properly noticed by the clerk as a public meeting. The health and safety, the wellness, district-wide safety plan meetings are board-appointed committees, but they were not publicly noticed. And I guess what I'm hearing is there some clarity as to why one is publicly noticed and the others are not? And moving forward, would it have to be, is, I guess, a question that I'm hearing. Is that correct?
So under the open meetings law, an entity consisting of 2 or more members of a public body, such as a committee consisting of 2 or more members, would fall within the requirements of the open meetings law, assuming that the committee discusses and conducts public business collectively. So that's the rule, right? So if you're going to be conducting public business and there's 2 or more members, then it is subject to the open meetings law. What conducting public business means is that you are making decisions that either constrain the Board of Education, right, or act as the Board of Education. So if in any way, when you are serving on a committee, you are constraining something the Board of Education can act on, that public body must be open to the public. So if there's a selection of 3 things, and as a committee, you're narrowing it down to 2, then you are constraining the acts of the Board of Education. The Board of Education no longer can reach down and add that 3rd thing, right? Because the committee acted on behalf of the Board of Education in narrowing the scope or constraining board action. So that's the rule. If it's purely advisory, in other words, you're making suggestions which can be rejected in whole or in part by the Board of Education, then you're not acting as a public body. And so when we've had the committee on policy committee come to the board and bring policies forward, it's got to be clear that the policies must be discussed at the board level and not only rely on what the policy committee did. So that is the case with every committee, right? So you have to make sure, regardless of the committee, that if they're taking some board action or constraining board action, then they have to be open to the public. And so if you're acting in public and it's you think that's best practice, that's up to the Board of Education. That's within your discretion. If you have a quorum or you conduct public business, that has to be an open. And it has to be noticed. Trustee Messman, any questions?
No. Don, that's very interesting, and I might have a question later on in this agenda to circle back to about that.
So just to clarify, just because it's stated here that it says making suggestions for revision, does that mean that since it's less than a quorum, it's not subject to the open meetings law?
Correct.
Okay. Because it's an advisory role, so that's the case
Purely
for
advisory, that's correct.
all of these positions. So if we add the third member to the policy committee is not subject to the open meetings law,
Correct.
because it's advisory. Understood. Does anybody want to make a motion to amend the agenda? To add
A
a,
motion to add a third member to the policy committee.
Megan Messman is first,
Second.
Juan Leon is second. Okay, all those in favor of
Aye.
adding the third board member? Aye.
No.
No.
Sorry, how many was that? Ms. Davenport was no,
No.
McDonald and Quintine were no. I am a yes. The motion passes 4-3. Can I have a motion? Oh, I'm sorry. Back to the discussion. So we gonna have myself, Dr. Yarjean, and Megan Messman on the policy committee. Is that what we have?
If we can confirm what that vote was for
Only-
the last vote to expand the,
I had
committee to-
a 3 no's from Ms. Davenport, Ms. McDonald, and Quintine Best. Was there any other no's? You didn't cast a vote?
I'm not, because I think I still had a question. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, this, unfortunately, the discussion, yeah.
Oh.
We get suggestions from legal, because if there's a board member that really has a discussion item and it's important for them to have that discussion, to make a vote, can we please, is there a way to please do this?
So is the question whether you can continue to open the floor for discussion on this item?
Yeah,
that
I
what the
just had
discussion?
one more question. Sorry. Let's go.
Once it's called for the vote, it's called for the vote,
Oh.
and then it's just up to vote.
Okay. So do we, I think the deciding vote,
Was
we're
it
waiting.
abstain?
Yeah, I guess if I,
You abstained, right? Because you didn't vote.
yeah, because I really wanted to.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I didn't even.
that's fine. But
Okay, so the motion fails. So we did not add the third position to the policy committee. So now, how do we decide which members are on the policy committee?
so it's the board president fills it in and then you vote.
I fill it, so I
Yeah.
decide who the
So
second member
so
is?
the creation of the agenda is by for appointments is by the board president.
Just a reminder, the president is an ex officio member of all the committees. So that you might want to take that into consideration. Like, in other
So-
words, you can
Essentially, I could
attend all the committees.
not be a part of the policy committee, but attend all of the meetings as the ex officio member. So is that basically a loophole to get past the 3 position?
Yes, council's pointing out a loophole. We're appreciative of co-counsel.
Thank you, co-counsel. So I think that solves it. I think we'll have Dr. Yarjean and Ms. Messman on the policy committee with the board president as an ex officio member of all the committees. All right. I didn't say I asked. Okay, so we have Dr. Yargene and Ms. Messman on the policy committee. Do I have anyone interested in the health and safety committee? I'm going to save myself for last on all of these since I'm apparently a part of all of them. Anybody interested?
If there's no interest, I volunteer.
Okay, I guess I will fill the second spot on the health and safety committee.
Well, okay.
Unless-
You're
well,
ex officio.
Well, nobody else volunteered, so, and if somebody else would like to volunteer, I will gladly give that up. Should we just leave that blank for now and see who wants to fill in the other committees? Okay, do we have anyone interested in the wellness committee?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. McDonald and Ms. Quintine Best, is that correct? Okay, the entire board is in the audit committee. Do I have anyone interested in the district-wide safety plan committee? Ms. Davenport?
Sure, I'll volunteer.
And Mr. Leone? So I guess I will, unless anybody wants to jump in, I will join the Health and Safety Committee. All right, so just to review, for the Policy Committee, we have Dr. Yargene and Ms. Messman. For the Health and Safety Committee, we have Mr. Leone and myself. For the Wellness Committee, we have Mr. McDonald and Ms. Quintine Best. And for the District-wide Safety Plan Committee, we have Ms. Davenport and Mr. Leone. Is that correct? All right. So can I have a motion for items 11A through 11E? Ms.
Second.
Davenport is first, Ms. Messman is second. Any further discussion on these items?
Eleven.
Ms.
A
Yard,
through E.
Dr. Yargene, did you have discussion on these?
Oh, not-
Where, right now, we have first and a second to vote on 11A through 11E. Now we're at the point of discussion. So if there's any discussion on those items before we vote, now is the time.
Oh, is that fair? Oh, maybe. I'm good.
Okay, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Okay, now we're opening, I'm not gonna make a motion, we're up for discussion on the appointment for the hiring committee. The appointment of community members for the administrative interview selection committee is item 11F. We are open for discussion on how we are going to be appointing the individuals listed.
So, okay. So I was opposed to the change in the policy. We had 5 members last year. We're changing it to now only 2. There's 5 names, but only 2 will be participating in any interview process. Similarly to last year, we drew names out of a hat, so I don't know how else to go about filling in 1 through 5. Besides just pulling the order out of a hat.
So it is my understanding that the appointments are for these 5 individuals, and then it is up to the board to decide how those individuals are utilized for the particular hiring. We could choose to have 1 and 2 serve, then on the next opening, we could have 3 and 4 serve, then the next one, 5 and 1, and rotate that way. We could,
Are the names already in the hat?
they're in a basket,
Basket.
if that
So-
impacts your vote.
Same names from last year?
Just these 5.
For the
When
name,
do
the
they-
5 names listed.
When do they change? Or do they ever change?
So last year when we created this policy, there was a section of the policy that said right before the reorg meeting, we would put out an inquiry to the community and solicit community interest. We actually pulled that part out of the policy, not sure why, but that got pulled out. These individuals are coming recommended to us from the director of HR after we had started it with more. I forget how many we had appointed last year. And do you remember off the top of your head? Maybe 7 or 8. They stuck with it and they made themselves available and show their commitment to the process, and they came recommended to us to continue and have been confirmed that they're interested in continuing.
And from the impression I got, they're maybe I'm speaking too high, but they're highly recommended. as
So,
far as
so
the-
what I would say is this, what happened is that during the course of the year, the membership of the committee of community members dropped from what was originally appointed.
Right.
And in January of last year, we added community members. We added, it was either 2 or 3, and then we added some alternates at that time. Based on people that had previously expressed interest, we did not repoll the community. The 5 people before you are the current members of the committee appointed by the board, for the remaining members that were appointed by the board, not as alternates. All 5 have indicated a continued interest in serving. All 5 provided service in a way that this community and this board can be proud in terms of their confidentiality, in terms of their openness to dialogue about all candidates that were interviewed. Not all points of view were always the same. However, the dialogue and the civil discourse that occurred, I would speak highly of. And therefore, yes, it would not be an understatement for me to say that based on their service and my experience in working with them, that they would serve this community well on any committee, even 2 at a time.
I also have a point of discussion. So last year, when the board edited the policy, we edited the policy to make it more inclusive to our community so that we can have 5 community members have a voice in how their district is shaped, how the administration is shaped. So when this policy was changed at the last board meeting, June 29th, to reduce that community voice from 5 to 2, I'm not in favor of that. And not to point anyone out, but Dr. Lando, you just said that we have 5 very dedicated individuals that would love to stay and love to work on the committee, but we are reducing that 5 voices to 2. And we failed to poll the community again to see if there was more interest from the community. So the foundation of this is no good, in my opinion. So that's one of the reasons why I'm opposed to this.
Can I have some clarity on it again? So there are 5 community members in that basket, correct? We are supposed to choose 2 of them only from that 5?
The recommendation to the board was that all 5 be approved as members, and that the board have the authority to make the choices to how you would like 2 to serve at a time. When the policy committee met, I want to say it was either in January or February, we first considering some revisions. some of the reality was that it's been difficult to get community members to serve on each committee. There were other items that were discussed as part of that. I hear Mr. Leon's concerns and appreciate them. On the other hand, there are other, I'm sorry. I hear Mr. Leon's concerns and I appreciate them. So thank you very much for expressing that. I do appreciate it. In balancing the functioning of the committee, the recommendation that was made was one to try to balance the interests of parties. And there are different points of view that were expressed in bringing this forward. Are all employees considered the same, or are all employees representing sometimes different points of views? There's a lot of discourse that could take place, and I believe did take place civilly. The policy as adopted provides for 5 members of the community. It provides an opportunity for the board to say, here's how we would like you to fill those slots for each administrative selection committee. And there are positive approaches to a rotating basis, to drawing polls, to having, just take from the first 5 and follow the same order. There are approaches and reasoning that could be made for each of those approaches. I welcome the board's decision in terms of, would you like to go draw randomly each time? Would you like to go that you go in the same order each time and you just go 1 through 5 each time? Would you like to go 1, 2, then 3, 4, then, the next 2 in each list? Each of those approaches has their benefit to it. And in each case, I am confident that we would end up with 2 community members who will represent the community well.
President.
I'm sorry.
Aaron.
I'm not opposed to the 5 members, and 2 drawn from the basket of 5. What I am, asking that we consider more members, opening up the polls for new members who, want to participate, if they do, and still keep 5 out of them and draw 2. I just want it opened up to the community again, since we already had one opened up last year. There may be more community interest now. There's a new board, the new age. Let's get some new faces.
And one of these suggestions I made after the board had approved to lessen the community input from 5 voices to 2 was, and the reason given why that was happening was because we couldn't get 5 people, but we at least have 5 people ready to serve. My suggestion was this: why not make it up to 5? So what Mr. McDonald said, I agree with 100%. If you want to have inclusiveness, if you want to have community members that buy into the district and feel like they're being heard, let them be part of the process. So if we have 5 individuals ready to serve and we haven't even reached out to the community, why not reach out to the community? I don't mean to be offensive, but none of this and this change makes no sense to me. It doesn't. At the very least, I would suggest make it up to 5 community members, 5 community voices. That's my suggestion again.
So I do have a question. So we have 5 members, but who's to say that these 5 members are going to be available for that particular interview? So you have,
That's how you reopen.
so I agree that maybe we pull from the hat and then we go first 2, they're available. If not, we'll go to the next 2 and we just circle it that way. And then maybe at another time we visit.
But what if the first 2 are always available because of their schedule? Then numbers 3, 4, and 5 don't get an opportunity. And then I'm thinking, what does an interview panel look like if we're gonna have 5 members, and then whom else would make up this panel? What numbers are we looking at?
So if I understand correctly, this is more of a discussion about changing the policy, which is not up for discussion right now. Is that, if I understand correctly, we're just voting on the existing policy, and I have a feeling that the policy committee will be looking to discuss this further at the next policy meeting, which we can discuss changes on it. We can add a regulation on how certain things are carried out. But as far as this is concerned, we're just voting on how to utilize the 5 existing members, approving them, and then deciding how we're gonna be using them, or we just go in order, whatever number they're picked. And we always go to 1 and 2 if they're available, or do we create some kind of a rotation?
So, yeah,
Mr.
so
President.
I guess to address that, I mean, if we just fill in the 1 through 5, and then say on the first interview, 1 and 3 are available, then just go sequentially to the next number. Just go 2, 4, 5, and see who's available. Right,
Yeah,
because
I think
I'm not sure who said it, but yes, that's the part of the issue was not everyone is always available. So, but maybe somebody is always available. So maybe that's a way to round it.
Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking, is we would go, say, we pick 1 and 2. Those are used for the first position that's open. And then the next position that's open would go to 3 and 4. And if, say the first round, number 2 wasn't available, then number 3 would have the option. And then it would
Exactly,
just,
just
which I think is what
sequentially.
Ms. Messman was saying.
Yes.
Mr. President,
Yes.
so I agree with that format, but I also want to highlight that
Into the
before,
microphone, please.
I also want to highlight, before we came to the meeting, I know there was a suggestion from, I believe was it legal? About possibly, because we, were still, trying to figure out what we wanted to do, and that some of us were concerned that it wasn't opened up for new community, input, that we could possibly approve this maybe just for 60 days so that in August we could revisit this. One of you made that suggestion.
That is an option. You can adopt. You can put right now, you have approves the community members named below to serve administrative selection committees from July 15, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. You can, if you wish, revise that to limit the duration of the appointments to a shorter duration if you choose. So you can have that duration from, July 15, 2026 through September 15, 2026, and you can have a shorter period of time. But I just want to, I understand there's discussions about the policy and changing the policies, but you do need a committee right now. Right, because you have hiring to do for the upcoming school year. So you do have to, regardless of whether you have a time limit or not, you have to make sure that you have a policy in place presently.
And
Thank
then to Chris's point, though, thank you, John, is the policy committee can meet and we can suggest changes and we can change the time frame at any point, right, John? I mean, we are the Board of Education, so.
Correct. And along with what John is saying, if you adopt it currently as it stands,
Yeah.
the second resolved language can be changed, and be it further resolved that the order of the community members who serve on each administrative selection committee shall be determined by the Board of Education. So you're leaving it open. That way, when you have your further meetings, you will determine what the order shall be. You don't have to determine it tonight. So in other words, you're just leaving it open. It shall be determined by the board, and then you'll have further discussion at other meetings or committee meetings on how you want that rotational process to look. But right now, I think that
Well, since we
just says.
since we have current openings, wouldn't we need to establish that process now?
The first 2 that are available. Correct. Like, they can be
If the language were on a rotating basis, because I seem to have heard that as a sense, my hearing of
Sure.
different voices on the board, on a rotating basis, then my interpretation of human resources on a rotating basis would be to ask number 1 and 2. And if one of them were not available, then to number 3, 4, 5, and so on.
Yeah.
And then on the next available committee, to start with the highest number of the person that was not available, but still was to serve, and give each person equal opportunity in the
Yes.
order selected to serve. That would be my interpretation of if language that were said on a rotating basis were added to this.
Okay, agreed.
So then
I
the
agree with that.
language would be,
Agree.
be it resolved that the order of the community members who serve on each administrative selection committee shall be on a rotating basis, period.
Okay.
Excuse me, is it worth noting sequential order
Sequential.
as opposed to just a rotating basis?
That we have sequential.
But we still have to choose who's number one,
Okay,
who's
so
number
let's draw
two.
the
And we also have to, like, are we leaving it as appointed through June 30th? And
Question.
if we don't leave it through June 30th, then what, my concern is if we made it 60 days, because we're possibly going to change the policy, then we could get stuck where we
Right.
don't adjust the policy and then we don't have anybody there.
So instead of, you can just leave it in the order they are listed above. That's alphabetical order.
Well, that,
you could
I
just
think
rotate.
the concern now is
The date.
of the date. Can we leave them appointed through June 30th, 2027?
Yes, and
And-
revisit later?
Yes, okay. So just to confirm, we're updating this under the list of names where it says, and be it further resolved that the order of the community members who serve on each administrative selection committee shall be on a sequential rotating basis. So now the only part left is to actually select the names and the order.
So if you leave it like that, then you're using the order as stated above. Right?
Oh.
The order is going to be in the alphabetical order that you have stated already. So you don't need one
Sequential
through five
rotating basis as stated above.
as
Do I have
stated
to-
above, yeah. So you have the order in alphabetical order already, and you'll just use that as rotational list.
Can we read it again for clarity?
And be it further resolved that the order of the community members who serve on each
Mm-hmm.
administrative selection committee shall be on a sequential rotating basis as stated above. Do I have to amend the agenda to state that? Thank you. No. So then we're going to be leaving 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 blank.
That's deleted.
We're
Delete
cross
it.
it out.
Okay.
Good idea at the top.
Can I have a motion to amend item 11F, appointment of community members for administrative interview selection committee? To the, skipping to the end where it states, and be it further resolved that the order of the community members who serve on each administrative selection committee shall be on a sequential rotating basis as stated above.
Motion.
Megan Messman is first, Angel Davenport is second. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion to vote to approve item 11F, appointment of community members for administrative interview selection committee? Noting those community members, Maura Bianco, Zanelle Cronin, Diane Eglinger, Tricia Rickenbacker, and Jacqueline Stevenson. Can I have a motion for that item?
Motion.
Dr. Yardine is first.
Second.
Megan Messman is second. Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you to those community members.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering your time.
Real quick, if we don't mind a quick intervention, would we like to tell our students that they are free to leave whenever they're available to leave?
The students are prepared to open the combined session meeting with a statement.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in there.
For future reference, your time will come a lot sooner in the meetings. Yes, and see the district clerk before you leave. Okay, we are moving on to item 12A. Can I have a motion for item 12A, cell phone assignment?
Motion.
Who was first? We tied. We'll go. Quintine Best is first, Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items? On this item? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for item 13A, Board of Education calendar meeting?
Motion.
Davenport is first.
Second.
Dr. Yardine is second. Any discussion on these items, on this item?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, so I was just hoping to understand when we would be establishing the upcoming goals for the new school year. Is that planned for the August 12th meeting? And then what the intention of the board retreat was in the month, two meetings in the month of August. So I guess the first question
So,
for Dr. Okay.
Well, I'll answer the board retreat.
Okay, yeah, please.
That is meant for, since we had such a large shift in board members and we have 4 new board members, to try to be more of a, hopefully a team building, orchestrated by this retreat.
Didn't that happen already at the end of June?
That was a transitional meeting and it was, from my impression on that, was to kind of help bring the new board members in, but this one would be more of a focus on what the existing board would do together and how to, going over how we communicate with the district clerk and the superintendent and different things that we have to do throughout the year as a board.
Cohesiveness.
And we need that to be sponsored by NISBA, or we can just have a work session and talk through that. I guess, I don't,
And
is this suggested to be that NISBA is leading us through a retreat?
yes, that would be a NISBA retreat. And it would be my suggestion to have NISBA facilitate that as a neutral party.
So it's setting board goals? I
think it would be similar. We had the retreat when you and I both came on. And I think if you remember that one, that's at least what I had in mind when this was being discussed at that previous meeting, that previous retreat.
I guess I don't know if I agree that we need a retreat. Because all the new board members are gonna have like 2 days of training too, with NISBA. So I'm just trying to understand the objective of the retreat, and
I think it would be best that we have an opportunity for the board to have an open discussion with each other to kind of work through some things. To hopefully break down some barriers and be able to work together.
Is this mandatory for each member?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Is it possible that we just not include the day? Because like, this is just like, is everybody confirmed for that day? And then the board can just figure that out.
So if I may add, this is draft number 6 that the board has received of the proposed meeting dates, and the August 26th board retreat date has been on all 6 drafts that the board has observed. So previous conversations were centered around building an effective governance team, particularly with 4 new board members joining the team, as well as establishing some norms, protocols as to how the board was going to conduct business, and getting an understanding of our strategic direction and our current initiatives, I think would be appropriate, particularly from a superintendent's standpoint. Now, in our policies, we have district goals that the board has approved.
Right,
And then, is the board going to establish goals?
right.
I've established my goals. The cabinet is establishing their goals. We had an administrative retreat whereby the administrators are now establishing their goals. And so there will be a time, of course, this would be a great time to share with the board where we are and what our strategic priorities are collectively as an administrative unit. Whether NISBA, would preside, facilitate, or whether we facilitate.
Right.
NISBA has confirmed that they are available that day. And so we just need to decide if we're having a facilitator, if it's something that the board is going to facilitate on its own, what the expectations of that day would look like, and then the time.
Right.
So you do have to be careful, in terms of the setting of goals and discussion of public business is open session as opposed to team building and those other issues that are appropriate for a retreat. And
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
So I guess in the month of August, I would hope to have more of what you're describing, Dr. Talbert, and have that open discussion about the goals and for the upcoming school year. Because in the past 2 years, it's been important that that's all finalized in August ahead of the school year. And if we feel as though we really need a NISBA facilitator to have some other discussion, that maybe that doesn't necessarily have to happen in August, and just make sure that we're prioritizing that we have those work sessions in place to finalize the yearly goals.
So with the August 26th, what's listed as a board retreat make more sense as a work session because of the discussions that Dr. Talbot was referencing?
yeah, if you're going to be discussing goals, it would be appropriate for a work session.
But is that too late then? Because the school year starts, what, September 3rd? Is it September 2nd? Yeah.
The board can decide on their topics of what you'd like to discuss on the 26th that's in compliance
So,
with
so
board
what,
retreat topics.
Dr. Talbot, I'm sorry to interrupt. What I've seen some boards do is have half and half. They have half of the meeting, half of the day be a meeting where it's a work session and they discuss goals. And then they go into the retreat after the open session so they can have team building and things of that nature. So you may want to consider that. So since you have the day scheduled, you have NISBA coming, you may want to use part of it for the open part of goal discussion, and then the second part for your retreat. Many boards do that.
Okay. Thank you for that. Do we list it as a board retreat or just a regular meeting?
You could list it as both. You can
Oh.
list it as a meeting and then say, hey, at the conclusion of the meeting, the board will
list it
go
as a
into their
meeting.
retreat for team building. If you want to have as much transparency as possible, you can do that so that everybody knows after your meeting, you're going to your retreat.
So as a work session slash board retreat.
I have another comment also relating to the proposed dates on the calendar. I will approve them, but one of the things I want to bring up is that October, December, January, February, June, we're only asking for one meeting. And I think we tried that last year for a couple months. And then when more work came up or someone had to be appointed, we were quickly scrambling to see which board members available to put together some quick meeting, and it became very messy. So I suggested this last time, I'll suggest it again. If we're able to have two scheduled meetings with a week in between, you're gonna see that there's no need to have unscheduled emergency meetings. Just a thought, if we decide to keep it like this, that's fine as well.
That was also one of the things that I noticed and was wondering if that would be a concern, is if one meeting a month, as many times as it is, would hinder district operations for the reasons that trustee Leon mentioned.
So one meeting a month for October, December, January, and February,
June as well.
and June. I think those months, most of the hiring and vacancies will be complete in September at the latest, hopefully. And caught up for October. We're gonna have 2 in November. There's a recess break in December.
Well, Dr. Talbert,
They appear fine to me unless you maybe want to add one to February because we're getting closer to the budget season. But other than that, I don't see the necessity at this point for 2, but of course, that's the board's call.
so Dr. Talbert, respectfully, if I can recall some of the issues that we encountered last year, I'm just gonna make up a scenario. Like, let's say, for instance, we have the October 14th meeting, and then October 16th or so, a pressing matter comes to us that has to be approved very, very quickly. We have to scramble to put together a meeting with 4 board members because the following meeting is over a month away. So that's the planning concern I have. But like I said, if you feel that this works, I will approve it. But I feel like we did a lot of running around and scrambling last year, which could have been cut down, if not fully resolved, with 2 scheduled meetings. Just a thought.
Yeah, I don't think we did a lot of scrambling and running around. I think there was one request for an emergency meeting, maybe 2 toward the end of the school year, but there was not ongoing requests for emergency meetings. But that is going to happen. Emergency meetings are going to arise simply because emergency situations arise. But that was not a regular operation last year.
Understood?
The November 4th, the audit meeting, is that past the deadline to submit I feel like every year we want to try to get that earlier, sometime in October. When is it due?
So the soft deadline is October 15th, and then the hard deadline is November 15th. The auditor has asked for the beginning of November in order to meet the November 15th deadline. Last year, I think we had him come toward the end of October,
Okay.
and it was quite a press. So this is an ask. Now that may require, if we put the audit committee before October 15th, there's a possibility he's going to ask for it later. But if the board would like to put it at the first soft deadline, we very well can. But for the last 2 years, his ask has been the end of October or the beginning of November.
Okay, so the deadline with the state is October 15th. Okay, and so we should try, I would like to be trying to have that meeting in October at a minimum. Because then there could be some back and forth to finalize and then submit by the hard deadline.
Would it make sense to attempt to, when it gets closer to the October 14th meeting, to add it to that agenda? I like to add it to that meeting. And then with the expectation that the auditor pushes back, we already have,
So then we just list it here and we potentially cancel it. We would do it that way. Is
So-
it better to list it?
We can add audit to October 14th
Mhm.
and communicate to the auditor that the committee will convene for the purpose of receiving the audit.
Okay,
And then if it's not ready at that time, we can bounce back to the 4th.
okay, so would you like to, would we be holding the 4th on the official calendar or just
I think we should keep
Hold
it
it.
down, yes.
we can always cancel it if we're. Okay,
The other objective on the 4th would be for the Board of Education to provide us with guidance as to what you see the budget looking like for the following year. Guidance meaning, do you have any particular parameters about the tax levy or the budget increase, et cetera? Because that guidance would then help the cabinet frame the budget that's going to be presented to you for consideration come February.
mm-hmm. Okay, but that could also happen at the October 14th, right?
I think that one of the reasons why Alan Yu, or auditor,
Oh, yeah.
requests that the meeting be held a little later is that he relies upon us to do a lot of the work that in other school districts are done by the audit firm itself. Marianne Niblock really prepares the financial statements. And so he tries to give her as much time as possible to do that.
Mhm.
And technically, the way it's supposed to work is that the auditor is supposed to present to the audit committee
Mhm.
his findings. The audit committee then reacts to that report,
Right?
and then a final report is presented to the Board of Education.
Mhm. There's no,
I think that, you know, if you want to shoot for October 14th, you could request that it be done that way.
no, it's just not feasible. So, but you're also saying like, and I'm hearing for the first time that we could be expanding the scope of our external auditor so that we do get this done in a more timely fashion? Because you're saying like they could do what a particular employee is doing?
Yeah, and it would cost us more, but
Right. But every year we are late with this and,
no, you're not. You must submit the report by November 15th, the hard deadline that Dr.
Okay.
Talbot is talking about. The state starts asking or looking for the report on October 15th.
Mm.
Many school districts attempt to submit it on October 15th, but there are a large number of school districts who don't meet that deadline. And if you didn't submit it by November 15th, there could possibly be penalties.
Mhm.
So,
But isn't there also like benefits? Like if we have it done in October, then when we're establishing the tax levy and when we're entering into budget, like
no,
we kind of
because
have like the whole picture.
unfortunately, what you're looking at, the audited financial statements are looking backwards. They're looking at the 25-26
Right.
school year, not looking forward.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm hearing that it's going to be hard and November 4th is most likely. And I guess lastly, the March 20th, the Saturday line by line, 2 years ago, we had like less than 5 people sitting with us on a Saturday line by line. And then last year it just didn't work out and we ended up canceling it. So I don't,
If I remember,
Well,
I think you had it
yeah.
on a Thursday night instead of
did.
Saturday. Yeah.
yeah, we did it at night and
Yes.
I thought that was
The
fine.
rescheduling of that meeting was because of how closely it was
Mhm.
from Mr. Dragone coming back to the position. If I
No,
remember correctly.
understood. But I guess like there wasn't like an outcry or anything. There was no, and
Yeah.
we still did the line by line and posted and the public was able to come and participate. So I guess,
I think it was a matter of making it available. Not that I don't think any of us want to come here on a Saturday morning, but
mm-mm.
I think it was at least making it available to the public that might not be able to attend otherwise on a Thursday evening.
Gosh, I was looking forward to a Saturday. Oh, no, I'm not gonna be.
I'm okay with not having a Saturday meeting, but on line by line.
So changing it to a different day.
No, just doing the March meetings. And if it runs over and we need to be continued, and we can establish another meeting.
So to include the line by line budget in the March 3rd or the March 10th meeting. Is that what you're suggesting?
Possibly, don't we also have to establish like all the budget meetings and like post that separately too?
The way you normally do it is you decide what presentations the Board of Education would like to be made.
Yep.
You may have principals make a presentation. You may have the directors make a presentation. How much of that did we do this year, Dr. Talbot? I don't remember.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think a Saturday meeting would be helpful. We have a number of new board members. It would allow us just to dedicate time to the budget itself and not so much district business commingled with it. So as we're thinking about it, just think about if an isolated chunk of time would be helpful to understanding it and asking specific questions and having that time to do that.
I also would just want to point out that because what Western Suffolk BOCES did this year, they set the vote for the 27th of April. And unfortunately, that is not 24 days prior to the budget vote on May 18th. Therefore, you must adopt the property tax report card on April 14th. So we have one less week to finalize the budget this year. I don't know why Western Suffolk BOCES chose that date, because normally that's a night when we could not only have the Western Suffolk BOCES vote, but also a last kind of drop dead date to adopt the budget. We don't have that option this year. The 27th is not far enough away. We must do it 24 days prior to the budget vote.
So that's April 14th, you're saying?
Well, it's
Or,
technically it's April 21st, I guess, or 22nd.
oh, we
It's,
don't
it's,
have that on here.
the 27th is too late.
Right, okay.
Okay, so we leave the March 20th. So
I'm okay with not, but I don't know if
is
anybody else.
anybody else looking to change March 20th?
They want to meet Saturday. Saturday.
So the change that I have listed is changing the August 26th meeting from a board retreat to a work session. / retreat. Okay. And then October 14th, we're going to attempt to have the audit committee meeting at that meeting, but then we're still going to hold the November 4th as a special session. That's the changes that I have listed. Did I miss anything?
I just had a question. For September 9th, special session, what's the purpose?
Dr. Talbert?
So school begins on the 2nd, and oftentimes if we get late resignations and interested hirees, we won't hold them to the 16th. We can get them approved on the 9th, and they can begin to work as soon as possible.
Thank you.
So I already have the motion to approve this item. Now I have to do a motion to make those changes. Okay. So I already have the motion to approve. We had our discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Now, can I have a motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting?
Motion.
Second.
What time is it?
10:10. I have Michael McDonald was first, and Quinton Best is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Did you both vote down there to close the meeting?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Moving on to our combined session meeting. I would like to call the combined session monthly meeting to order at just turned off at 10:11 p.m.
Motion. Do you need a motion?
No.
Not. Yeah, okay.
Hey, thank you all for joining. Please note the emergency exits closest to you. There is no smoking on school grounds. Please silence cell phones during the business of the board. We had already done the Pledge of Allegiance. So moving on to reports. And finally welcoming our ex officio student board members to the stage.
Good evening, board members and members of our community. I'm honored to have been re-elected as your ex officio board member and grateful for the opportunity to continue serving and advocating for the students in our district. This past year, I had the privilege of listening to student voices and bringing their ideas and concerns to the table. Through building walkthroughs with my peers and district leaders, we were able to see several student requested budget items included, all amounting to over $15,000, demonstrating that student input truly matters and can create meaningful change. I want to thank the Board of Education members and our district administration for valuing student perspectives and for your commitment to investing in programs that benefit all students. Thank you again. I look forward to continuing and representing the student body, and I hope we can continue to make our district an even better place for every student. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, welcome back, Sarai and Catherine. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Catherine. This will be my first year, and I hope to do it again for next year as a senior. The next coming up school year, I'll become a junior. I'm well active within the community meeting in school, and I hope I could bring changes into the board and my peers around in schools. And I'm very excited to be here, and I can't wait to And thank you for Sarai being on my side, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are both welcome to stay, but free to go
But they,
after you see the district clerk. Dr. Talbert?
Thank you, President Daring, and congratulations again to Sarai and Catherine. We look forward to working with you this year and hearing your voice as you represent your peers throughout the district. Good evening once again to everyone, members of the board, our student board members, and our colleagues who are remaining staff and members of the Amityville community. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone to the beginning of a new Board of Education year. And we would like to continue to extend a hearty welcome to our newly elected board members, Angela Davenport, Cheryl Quintine Best, and Dr. Equasia York Jean. And thank you for your willingness to serve our students, families, staff, and community. And even though it is summertime, our district remains incredibly busy. Recently, we hosted an outstanding leadership retreat that brought together administrators and teacher leaders to begin preliminary work on designing our district's next strategic plan. There was lots of energy, collaboration, commitment that was demonstrated at the retreat that affirmed our shared dedication to our district theme, which is one tide, one vision, rising together. We issued a survey, and overwhelmingly, there was a response for the sub-theme to be rising together. So we look forward to shaping the future of our Amityville School District. Our extended school year program is well underway. Thankful that Ms. Stevens and Ms. Lopez have been conducting walkthroughs and has found everything to fare well. Our high school summer school classes have begun, and there was a visit to the school site this morning as well, providing students with meaningful opportunities to continue learning and achieving their academic goals. Tomorrow marks the final day for families to register for our Summer Bridge program, which will help student scholars make a successful transition into the new school year. As part of our ongoing commitment to school safety, our proposed district-wide safety plan has been posted on the district website and is available for public review and comment. So we encourage our community to provide feedback during this public comment period. Finally, I would like to congratulate our very own Amityville wrestler, Eric Savala, on an outstanding achievement. Eric has earned a coveted spot on the official team New York National Wrestling Team, and he has a lot of accolades behind his name. So we're incredibly proud of Eric for representing both our district and New York State with excellence, and we will be inviting him to a board meeting so that the board can continue to bestow accolades upon him for his exceptional talent, perseverance, and hard work. So we look forward to welcoming all of our families back and preparing for them together as we move forward with one tide, one vision, rising together. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. Talbert. I'd like to now open it up to the community members, community input regarding board agenda items only. Is that mic on? We've been here too long. The battery died.
Thank you. Jacqueline Stevenson. My comment is regarding agenda item 2C3. I don't know if that's a mistake because it seems like this was already taken care of, but because it's here, I do have a comment.
Sure.
So my comment or question is, I wasn't clear on the time period. So did you all change the time period that the 5 would be serving and you're gonna revisit it, or did you decide not to change it?
Right now, it was approved through the end of the school year.
Okay,
And we will not be calling on this agenda the number that you referenced, 2C3,
okay.
since we addressed it at the reorganization meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other community input regarding board agenda items? Seeing none, I'd like to move on. We'll be closing the community input and moving to item 2A1, approval of board minutes.
Can we move it as amended? Or I have an amendment to make on the meeting minutes.
Yes, John, we would make that amendment after we call it, or make the amendment before?
You can make the amendment before you call it.
Okay.
So, 2B2, the motion carries, instead of 6-0, it was 5-1, and I voted no. On page 3.
Hold on, I had it in front of me and I lost it. You said on page 3? Which number was it?
2B2. The hiring policy?
And the motion should be what, 5-1?
Yes.
5-1 with Megan Messman as the no. Okay. Is there anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments or amendments to the minutes? So can I have a motion for item 2A1 as amended?
Motion?
Megan Messman is first, Angel Davenport is second. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion, if I could do these items together, for items 2C1, 2C2, and 2C4?
I have a question, though I don't know if I want to do
Does
it
it impact
separately.
your vote?
It might.
Okay, so what do you need done separately?
Uh,
You want to do
forget it. We can do
1
it.
and
We
2?
can do it together. We can do it together. I'll just ask my question.
Okay. Can I have a motion for item 2C1, 2C2, and 2C4?
Motion.
Cheryl Quintine is first.
Second.
I heard Michael, can you just do it into the microphone?
Second.
Michael McDonald, the second. Discussion?
I just wanted to clarify on 2C2, the disposal of the 2025 election ballots. Is there we don't have to hold them for 2 years? What's the minimum that we hold the election materials? For some reason, I had 2 years in my mind.
It's a year.
It's just 1 year.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That was my question.
Any other discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I do item 3A, 1, 2, 3, and 4 together?
I respectfully ask that 4 be done separately.
Okay. And we didn't have, there was no amendments on these, right? No, okay. Can I have a motion for item 3A1, 3A2, and 3A3? Davenport is first.
Second.
Dr. Yardley is second. Any discussion on these items? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Oh, yes, right. Congratulations. And I have a motion for item 3A4. Sorry, who was that? Angel Davenport is first.
Second.
Dr. Yardley is second. Discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
1
All-
opposed.
Motion passes 6-1. Congratulations. All right, can I do 3B, 3B3 through 3B 13B? What's that?
6, there's 7 is none.
Oh, 7 is none. Okay.
Oh.
So we'll do it. 3B3 A through
6B.
3B6B.
Motion.
Second.
Megan Messman is first. And Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And I have a motion for items 3B8 through 3B13B.
Motion.
Dr. Yardley is first. Angel Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
No.
Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And I have a motion for item 3C2.
3C2. What's that?
The use of
What is-
facilities.
I have 2 versions of the agenda, so I'm not sure if it's 3C2.
I got the one that was handed to us in an executive session.
Okay. The district clerk has it, I just didn't have it on mine.
Okay.
This was the Girl Scouts, the lunchtime Girl Scouts?
Yeah,
The
and
use of facilities?
the other organization was, is that Bay Village Civic?
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Is everybody on the same page? Okay, so can I have an item for, so I have a motion for item 3C2, district use of facilities? Angel Davenport is second. Dr. Angel Davenport is first, Dr. Yardley is second. Any discussion on these items?
No.
Well, just one discussion point. I think we should highlight because I had a question on what Girl Scouts was doing at the building during school hours. So if you wouldn't mind, Dr. Talbot, just explaining to the public what the function of the Girl Scouts is
Sure,
in
this is
this
for the,
capacity.
yes, for the Girl Scouts to utilize Northwest Elementary School. And they report to the school on Wednesdays from 10 to 2 and serve the students during their recess period. And this will be their third year continuing to provide Girl Scout opportunity troop here in the district.
Thank you, Dr. Talbot. Any other discussion on these items? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for item 3D1?
Motion?
Megan Messman is first. Angel Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
Yes, I just had a question. This is end of May and we show available in the expenditures 14 million. And then in the available for the revenue, is it unearned revenue of 25 million? Is that correct?
It actually is the opposite of what you might think.
Okay. That's what I
Positive,
was thinking, but
positive 25 million in unearned revenue means that we are waiting to receive
right.
25
That's
million.
okay.
That's our tax levy,
okay.
which comes late in the year.
So you're still expecting that?
Yes,
But then I think you are expecting that we're going to close the year with some 7 million in surplus-ish,
uh,
6 to 7.
yeah, it's 6 plus, yes.
Okay. But you don't have it encumbered at the end of May.
Correct. The end of May, we still have a number of things that we did during the month of June. For example, all of our per diem and hourly employees,
Okay.
their salaries were not encumbered. There were a number of contracts that we issued in June, if you remember. We talked about the intercom system at the middle school, et cetera.
Right.
Those are not reflected.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying. That's all I had.
Any other discussion on this item? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Can I have a motion for item 3E1A through F?
We might be able to keep going. We could just maybe go.
All right, well, if anyone,
Or two.
if all are in favor with it, can we do item 3E1A through 3F2?
Yep.
Can we do all that separate? I mean, do all that together?
Yep.
But Angel Davenport is first. Oh, sorry. Dr. Yargene is first.
Second.
Angel Davenport is second. Any discussion on these items?
Discussion. Dr. Talbert, can you or a member of the staff speak to E1, D and F, which is specifically speech language service, speech language pathology, and OT or occupational therapy? I know that we do provide that. I thought in-house. Is this services supplemental or is it for some other need?
Yes, I'm going to ask Ms. Stevens to give us some further details. But yes, there are definitely opportunities when we have to reach out for certain services that may be a little more intense than what the day-to-day operations require.
Yes, so I would agree it's supplemental. In addition to the services we provide in-house, sometimes we have students who are homebound and they need to have service providers go into the home, or they're in facilities where we are still providing those related services.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other discussion on these items? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Moving on to old or new business. Does anyone have any old business items they would like to discuss?
I mean, I have a few things, but it's so late. And it's not urgent.
Any new business items? Seeing and hearing none, moving on to community input regarding non-board agenda items.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah Lee. I just have a question and some recommendations. Is the agenda given to the board trustees prior to this meeting? Is
Yeah.
is it possible for board members to please do research, their homework before coming to these meetings, extending the meetings for community members? As a board member, as a trustee, it's your job to be responsible and to do the research and ask questions during executive sessions instead of coming here, instead of coming here, wasting the community's time. It's almost 11 o'clock and most of the community left. I would greatly appreciate, as a taxpayer, as a community member, if board members would actually read the agenda and be prepared for the meetings. Thank you.
So,
Just to
yeah.
comment on that, there are specific items that no matter how much research and questioning we do, there's things that we legally have to discuss in open session that we can't discuss in executive session. Some of what we talk about might be things that we do have correspondence to gather information from the superintendent or legal counsel, but it is important to discuss them in public. So unfortunately, there is a need for the meetings to go as long as they go. I am speaking for myself, but I am pretty confident that nobody sitting up here wants to be here this late.
No, I mean, I completely agree. And there's limited topics that are protected by executive session, and we are complying with open meetings law and unfortunately tonight there was two long meeting, it was just kind of a back-to-back meeting. So, yeah.
And if I can just add on real quick, we still have this pestering problem that there's always multiple versions of agendas floating around. So that's something we also have to work towards getting fixed.
Jacqueline Stevenson. I would like to know if the supporting documents that are attached to the agenda can be made available when the agenda is available online, usually the day before, because I like to read through and, be prepared. A lot of times when we come, that's when we see the supporting document. So that was just one thing I wanted to bring up. And the other thing is regarding the summer bridge program, I'm very happy about it. I just wanted to remind the board, and I know I emailed and Dr. Talbot wrote me back about this. The fact that if you could include information about school clubs somehow throughout that week so that the students and parents are aware prior to the start of school what clubs are being offered to the students, because a lot of times the club information is announced in school, but my kids don't always relay the information to me. So it would be good if the parents have this information. And also, even if it's not given to me right now, but I would like more details about what those 5 days will consist of, what the summer bridge program. I know there's a flyer out with, you know, setting up open up lockers and different things, but it would be great if I could have more information. My son is going to be doing the 6th grade bridge program. But if I could find out what is actually going to be happening those 5 days. Next, because the LOT grant has run out, is the board or is the district going to be offering any after-school programs starting in the fall?
Dr. Talbert?
We will not be offering any grant-funded programs. I will share with you that we are actively seeking funding opportunities to provide any gap closing opportunities and enrichment opportunities that we can. As of now, there are not any after-school programs that we will be providing.
Okay. And then my last question is regarding next summer, since again, LOT for the summer, we didn't have anything this year. Can the board or the district be proactive in putting together a summer program for next year?
Yes, that should be a part of our budget discussions because that program would be funded in next year's budget. The 27, what year we're going into? 27, 28? Okay, yes.
Right, okay. And I do have one more thing. I failed to mention before, I do appreciate being asked to participate in the hiring committee again. It was definitely a very rewarding experience for me. The opportunity to work with fellow community members and staff and Dr. Lando. And I'm looking forward to serving again this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, before we close, Jacqueline's comments jogged my memory, that there was a community member that had reached out with in writing to the board with concerns of our walkers and,
So these are the walkers?
yeah, walking from Park Avenue, I think specifically, and
Yes.
just ensuring that we have enough crossing guards in place. And I had wanted to bring that up today and talk about if the board should formally appoint like a liaison with the village. And maybe if we consider that for August.
That is a good one. One of the village trustees has mentioned that they are the liaison for the village to the district and that was hoping that we could have a liaison for the village for those two people to kind of coordinate.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's something we want to discuss at the next meeting or if it's something we can quickly decide now.
Yeah.
Maybe discuss it at the next meeting to figure out, I don't know if there's any official capacity
Maybe we
or,
have to do some sort of formal resolution.
okay, so if you could come up with something for us on that one. All right,
Thank you.
thank you very much. And then if we can add that to the next agenda.
And I'm not sure if that really addresses the crossing guard issue, but I think that they post for the crossing guards, or is that?
Well, to my understanding,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong, anything within the village lines is hired by the village police department, and then anything outside of that would either be, depending where you are, Nassau County Police or Suffolk County Police would be responsible for those crossing guards. Am I correct? Mr. Dugone is nodding his head yes.
A school district has no authority.
Right, but we can, help advocate for it.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, okay. Great.
Wave our safety vest. All right, thank you. Do we have any reports from legal? No. Thank you. Does anybody from the Board of Education have a report? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:43 PM?
Motion.
Dr. Yardjeen is first. Angel Davenport is second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0. Sorry, Mr. DeGone, your vote does not count. Have a good evening, everyone.